to light a fire
Now,
and stay
here
in the
in the
same
UP,
place,
people
so it's
disappear at a
easier
rate
for
that is
crews to
3
find
times
you.
higher than the
Justin
state and
Van Hoff,
nation.
TV6
That's according to federal
Investigates.
data. We are digging into what factors might contribute to that rate. In part 1 of this investigation, TV6's Justin Van Hoff talks to police and search and rescue teams about how the UP's remoteness and terrain makes cases especially challenging.
In January 2019, 25-year-old Giancarlo Estupiñán went missing by the Yellow Dog River in Big Bay while on a hike taking pictures. He was an NMU student majoring in fish and wildlife management. Although Estupiñán was familiar with the Yellow Dog River, the weather quickly changed.
He went out and there was a storm scheduled to come in. He was out. It was a beautiful, I'd say 30-degree day. He didn't have on a lot of winter clothes because it was so nice. But that storm came in while he was out there, and he got lost. And ultimately, we found him 3 days later, and he was frozen to death.
The National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, or NamUs, shows there are currently 599 open missing persons cases in Michigan. 46 of those are in the Upper Peninsula. That number becomes more significant when population density is considered. While the Lower Peninsula boasts a population of 9.5 million people and a rate of missing persons cases per capita of 5.76, the UP has a population of 300,000, which means its rate is 15.66. That's 3 times the rate of open cases per capita for both the state and the nation, which both sit at about 5. Giancarlo's case illustrates several of the components investigators blame for how many go missing in the UP, including remoteness, terrain, and weather. As Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant James Wechnicki explains, our bitter winters can pose a unique challenge to search and rescue teams.
With snow, it's going to limit boots on the ground because you're going to be walking, sometimes 2-3 feet of snow, and that can be very difficult. That can be very taxing on your searchers, and so you might. It's going to definitely hinder the search.
Marquette and Mackinac counties have the highest number of missing persons cases in the UP. Mackinac has 14 and Marquette has 13. Wechnicki says the Great Lakes could be the reason.
I just believe that the water has a lot to do with that. Lake Superior, again, like I said, it's not very forgiving, and Mackinac County, they have the Mackinac Bridge there, and the currents that go through there and everything like that. It's if you're not comfortable in the water, then it can give you trouble.
In cases where a person disappears in the water, Alger County Sheriff Todd Brock explains what resources Alger County Search and Rescue deploys.
The depths and the currents are what make that water so challenging, and we would deploy our dive team. We would deploy our boat out. We would contact. We also have a pilot that would fly for us. We could fly over the water, and that goes for the woods also. Basically, we would deploy our Rescue 21 team where we would get strength in numbers, get our dive team in the water.
Mike Niger is a retired Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant in Manistee. He founded Michigan Backcountry Search and Rescue, a nonprofit search and rescue team dedicated to solving missing persons cases that have run cold. He specializes in long-term backcountry searches, looking for what he calls spoor. Some of his tactics include sifting the dirt for evidence, analyzing scat, and looking for any abnormalities in the area. His searches can last over a week. Niger says the UP's terrain is especially difficult.
This area up here is quite mountainous, and when the leaves are out and the foliage is out, you can't see very far at all. And so sometimes you can't see your partner if you're 5 meters apart. So it limits what you can see on the ground. This right now is an ideal time to be looking at the ground, searching for spoor, for evidence of a case. Because you can see so far as you can see, but if the leaves were out, you could see. You're not going to be able to see.
Niger says another challenge is many search and rescue teams are volunteer.
All of the people are volunteers, like I was telling you. They got to go back to work. They got to feed their families, so they've only got so much energy and so much time for boots on the ground. So unless some civilian turns in something, the case is kind of stalled until another clue comes up.
Niger has some tips for those going out into the wilderness.
Try and go with someone else, and then always leave an itinerary behind with someone responsible of where you're going and when you're going to be back, what your car looks like, you know, with a trailhead, what your plans are. Are you hunting? Are you skiing? What are you going to do? What you're wearing?
Niger says if you ever find yourself lost in the woods, to light a fire and stay in the same place so it's easier for crews to find you. Justin Van Hoff, TV6 Investigates.